Hey guys, MCU Collector here with another figure review. Next up is the Hasbro Marvel Legends series Walgreens exclusive, the Sentry. Now I know you're probably wondering, well, where did you get it? How did you get it? Well, it is not showing up at Walgreens. It is not available at Walgreens.com, which most figures seem to be, most Walgreens exclusive figures seem to be doing. I got this from Star Action Figures based in the UK. They get everything before the US, and with the Walgreens exclusive figures, I think I'm pretty much always just going to order from them because they get so much earlier, and then I just do a group order with a bunch of buddies. We split the shipping cost. But here we have the Sentry. It is the plastic-free packaging, so no window, but it looks kind of cool because when you get the special logos on the packaging, it really helps go a long way. But then the figure on the packaging doesn't necessarily fully reflect what the actual figure is going to look like. Here we have this kind of this yellow. It's not like a dark yellow, but it's not super bright, but the figure itself is like super bright, which we'll take a closer look at and you'll see. But anyway, on the side of the package we get a digital render of the figure, kind of like on the front, but on the other side we actually get some comic book artwork for Sentry, which is pretty cool. And then on the back, a digital render of what he includes and everything like that. So again, this will be a Walgreens exclusive, not yet in the US, but I did get from Star Action Figures in the UK, and I believe they are sold out now. But here is the Sentry. It comes with two additional hands. These have vertical hinges on them, which is cool because they're trigger finger hands. Why the Sentry comes with trigger finger hands, I'm not really sure, but those are the hands that he comes with. And then he also has an additional interchangeable head for the Void. And this thing is actually pretty damn cool. So we'll take a closer look here in a second with the figure. But there he is. Not bad. It's a reuse of a body. Well, the arms and the legs are reused, but the torso itself is new, and that's likely only because he's got a cape that glues onto the front. So obviously they have to like key out like a section there so they could glue the cape down in there. Other than that, he would be basically Grim Reaper body or Cap Wolf body. So let's get in for a closer look now. Okay, so as you can see, I mean, he's got a bright ass yellow to him, which is kind of funky. I prefer kind of a darker yellow. I think like the old Sentry figure isn't very good. It's on the Hyperion body. His head looks like super small and weird and stuff, and I hate the Hyperion body, but I like the yellow more than this new brighter yellow. And you know, maybe that's just me. They did some shading and stuff like on the legs, on the body and the arms. Yeah, I just prefer this yellow, but this one, you know, it looks pretty good. I like the way the blue and yellow do kind of go together. It's a brighter blue also to go with the kind of the brighter yellow. As you can see here, they kind of did this spray effect, this glow effect with the yellow around the blue. I don't know if that's kind of a little paint blemish right there with that blue. Not that big of a deal. He's got kind of the blown out hair here, which is kind of funky, blowing in the wind. I guess it's okay. New head sculpt in there. That looks pretty good. Nice print for the face, you know, the eyes. You can actually see a little bit of shading around the eyes and everything. That came out looking really good. Looking throughout the figure, not a whole lot else going on. I like how the cape has the fold and stuff in it. Looks pretty good. But let's pop this head off and let's look at the Void head. This is like him transforming into the Void. As you can see, they painted the skin tone on the yellow, so the skin tone doesn't actually match the face like at all. You can see by the ball peg how that looks, but it really isn't noticeable when you pop the head on there because it's all hidden away from the hair and stuff like that. And then with the Void, it's not going to match the skin tone anyway because he doesn't have any skin left over on his face because he's transforming into the Void. So a lot of people are like, oh, Ghost Rider type head. Yeah, it's not Ghost Rider. Although I could see the confusion there. But that's pretty cool. So you can see his hair is kind of turning into fire. So it has a nice translucent plastic rubber hair in there. And then they painted some of the blonde in there and then didn't over here to kind of give it that flame effect. And that's really cool. But we get this burned out look that just came out really awesome. Nice details in there. Really nice. You can see the teeth are actually painted white. Got some tongue painted in there. Yellow in the eyes, a little black in some spots here in the front where the nose is, and on here on the jawline. Just came out looking really, really nice. It's pretty creepy looking. So that is pretty cool. He also, again, has the interchangeable hands, which are trigger finger hands. Why they are trigger fingers, I don't know. I guess I don't know how many different hands to accommodate this body they have. And maybe this is just kind of one of them. I'm not really sure. Although, it's essentially the Grim Reaper arms. Grim Reaper had like these regular open holding hands, but they do kind of look a little small. Not really sure why they went that route, but again, these are the same bodies except different torso. So same arms, same exact legs, different capes, thank God. And you know, I was looking at Capwolf, you know, it's the same upper arms, same upper legs, but Capwolf definitely has, you know, different pieces to them. I was kind of trying to figure out a little bit, you know, what the torso, if it was reused at all, but no, it is new. In fact, I was thinking, oh, what about the young Thor? But no. And then this is kind of funny because everyone wants to talk about how Hasbro is now with their paints and they reuse bodies all the time. Did you guys know that Hasbro used to just go ahead and reuse heads all the time? Like, that's, come on now. They use the same damn head for these two figures. That's what Hasbro used to give us at the $20 price. I'm not going to defend the $25 price because the $25 sucks. Just naturally the prices increased over time. But Hasbro used to do stuff like this where they would reuse the heads. So these two figures reused a head, and then there was a female figure that reused the same head multiple times over. Like, you know, the Dark Phoenix 2-pack used one of the heads. The Gamora figure in the Entertainment Earth Guardians of the Galaxy box set used the same head. It was kind of crazy how often they reused head sculpts. Like, they just went for it all the time. I don't know of any instance where Hasbro really does that now, but that's something that they used to do. So at least here now we are getting unique head sculpts from time to time, and for different characters at least. You know, obviously for the same characters, they do reuse from time to time and then repaint them, of course. But for different characters, they do not reuse any of the head sculpts. So just thought I'd point that out. Okay, so articulation for the Void, he can, not the Void, the Sentry, the Void would be the different head, so he can look down that much. He's not really going to be able to look up because the hair is really going to get in the way. But let's pop off the head and we'll see how his articulation is with the Void head sculpt. So he can look down that much. He can, you can look up, but then I just popped the head off the ball. So he can look up that much, so that's actually decent, I guess. You get a full rotation in there, not a whole lot of pivot going on. The shoulders, you can get them to go straight out and to the side. That's actually probably the best that an arm can do, just straight up to the side. Can't go any higher than that or anything. It looks natural and good. Full rotation in there. Upper bicep swivel. These are old arms, so we get pinned elbows but double jointed. Pins I don't really mind when it's the same color. Like when we get different colors, that's when it's a real problem. Because like Gore the God Butcher went up today, and I think Gore the God Butcher uses the same body here. I could be wrong on that. I think some people have said Bucky Cap. I think it's a little bit larger than Bucky Cap, so I want to say the arms and legs are this body on that Gore. So there are pins. I don't mind the pins because the pins, you're not going to see one color and then the pins be a different color on a different part of it. So that's why I don't mind it. Would pinless be better? Yes, of course. But it's not the end of the world when the pins match the color, in my opinion. But I know a lot of people feel differently about that. And $30 for the record is ridiculously outrageous and way overpriced for Gore. Bending forward on the ab crunch, you can crunch forward that much. You can go back a little bit, and the cape actually doesn't really hinder too much, so that is actually pretty good. There is a waist swivel in there, but that belt does kind of get in the way, so you can kind of lower the belt, or you can kind of raise the belt and then kind of get that swivel going on in there. Legs go out. I feel like, there we go. That far apart. Wait, can they go more? Yeah. That one, it feels like the right leg goes out a little bit more. He can't kick forward that much, which is actually pretty good. Leg actually goes back quite a bit. You have an upper thigh cut in there. You get a double jointed knee. They are old legs, so you get pins in the knee like we were talking about with the elbows. You get swivel at the calf. Foot hinges all the way down. A little bit of hinge up, ankle pivot, and peg holes at the bottom of the feet. And yeah, that is the Sentry and the Void's articulation. Okay, and so for some size comparisons here, we have the Void with the Grim Reaper body and the Capwolf figure, because they share similar pieces, Grim Reaper and the Void, a lot more so, but the torso is definitely different. It's a little bit wider. I think it actually looks a little bit better, but the problem is, you know, I don't think it's really something that's going to get reused because the cape is glued in. We're probably going to see it with other figures that may have capes, that kind of thing. but it is not probably something that we could see like on a standard body or anything like that. Okay, and here we have the first Sentry figure that was in the All-Father Build-A-Figure wave way years back, along with the new Walgreens exclusive Sentry. And this yellow is really growing on me. I really like the way the yellow and the blue really go together. Although this one, I think the yellow and the blue really went together nicely. It's just I hate the damn Hyperion body mold. Like, hate it. It's so bad. It's so bad. And I think for the most part it's done. They're not going to be using it, although I believe Razorback uses Hyperion body, or at least that's what Ryan had told me at Comic-Con, that Razorback uses the Hyperion bodies, but hopefully that will be the last we ever see of it. It's just because the proportions are weird. The legs are like funky with the hips and how it stands. The chest is just like really weird. I just really hope they don't use it again, and you could see the heads like look tiny on the body, and that just doesn't look right. Whereas this Sentry looks awesome. Proportionally looks really good. But you guys let me know down in the comments below, what do you think of this Sentry figure? What do you think of this one? I think this one is the clear winner. I'm trying to think if I should get two of these, maybe when Walgreens releases it, if I get a second so I can actually display it with the Void head. Now the Void is kind of a force that bonded with Sentry when he took the Sentry serum and became the Sentry. So it's part of him. So I'm thinking, well, it's a second character. Do I? I mean, all it does is change the head, whereas Sentry can kind of take on any different kind of form. So I'm debating or not. What you guys let me know down in the comments below. What do you think? Should I get a second figure so I could display with the Void head and have two figures? Let me know in the comments below. Let me know if you guys are actually picking this up. Again, I got mine from Star Action Figures based in the UK, because the UK gets everything first. Walgreens, chances are this isn't going to see Walgreens for at least 2 weeks to 3 months before it becomes available, and I'm sure that it'll be something that becomes available online first, because Walgreens no longer really cares or gives a shit about having toys in the toy aisle, because during the pandemic, guess what people went into Walgreens for? They went in there for medicine and drugs, not for toys. So their focus has really shifted. I heard that from actually some of the toy people. I think it was it the Diamond Select guys that had talked about that, where they said, you know, getting toys into Walgreens used to be great. They used to love it. And then pandemic hit, and the customer base that went into Walgreens really shifted. It was no longer collectors going in there to pick up stuff. It then became people going in there to get their essential needs and their medicine and things like that. So it was a pretty interesting panel that I had gone into for Comic-Con. So just a heads up on that. So, you know, whenever this becomes available online, I'm sure Hasbro will let us know, as they've been doing that with restocks even through Walgreens. I'm sure they'll let us know. Hopefully it won't be too long, so you guys can kind of get your hands on Sentry. I saw Quasar in my local Walgreens today, so some of them are still coming, still super behind. But yeah, you guys let me know down in the comments below what you think. Hit the join button to join the MCU Collective and become a channel member. If you guys like this video, please do me a favor and hit that thumbs up button. Subscribe if you haven't already done so. And as always, thank you for watching.